let's just go with the numbers. Let's go with the history. 100% of revolutions, of victims fighting their oppressors, from victims fighting their bullies, 100% have been successful through fighting back.
This painting is called Stir It Up in Their Own Lane. And the reason this one is called that is because you got 4 guys who actually stirred it up, and they was in their own lane. So I painted them in an SUV sitting on an iceberg in the middle of the ocean by themselves to show that they're in their own lane. And the driver...
Moments ago, officials identified the shooter as 25-year-old Micah Xavier Johnson of Mesquite, Texas. Negotiators say he told them beforehand, before he was killed, that he was upset over the shootings of black men in Louisiana and Minnesota.
So on July 8th, 2016, he went to Dallas and responded to what was happening with the Black Lives Matter and the officers killing unarmed black men. And he responded in a way that they understand.
Chaos on the streets of downtown Dallas overnight.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
At least 5 officers killed, 9 other officers and civilians injured.
Slow down! He's in the damn building right there!
Specifically targeting officers.
He said he was upset about the recent police shootings.
So I made him the driver because his response was immaculate. And he made it, he put it down the way it should be put down.
If I was a soldier and I was killing Iraqis, y'all would be praising me as a hero. And now that I killed y'all with real terrorists, now what? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Kwame, there's been too many people talking. Rest in peace, my name. We're talking over. It's time for a revolution, brother.
In the passenger seat, I got George Jackson. So on August 21st, 1971, in San Quentin prison, he put it down and responded and retaliated and put down a demonstration that should always be respected and honored.
Well, I was incarcerated under a 1 to life, a term that called for 1 to life, where I could have done 1 year and been released. I've done 10. That's more time than anybody in the state has ever done on 1 to life.
The guard in the tower was O.G. Miller, white, 51 years old, known to be an expert with a rifle. Miller's background was similar to that of other guards. Ex-military, from a southern state, known to inmates as a racist.
He was gonna shoot somebody black. If it was a fight out there on the yard or somewhere, he wasn't gonna shoot his kind, he was gonna shoot the other guy.
The fight started when Nolan threw the first punch at a white inmate. Others quickly joined the battle. Without warning, Officer Miller fired his weapon at the inmates.
Nolan was the first one shot. He was shot through the chest on the first bullet off of a .30 caliber, very high-powered rifle. He was shot right in the heart.
It was straight up murder.
A second, then a third shot fired, hitting 2 other black inmates. Both would bleed to death. 3 days later, on January 16th, the Monterey County Grand Jury ruled the killings justifiable homicide.
There was just a thickness of anger and a sense of injustice.
Not long after the ruling had been announced, outrage turned into retribution. At around 6:30 p.m., 26-year-old guard John Mills was beaten and thrown from the top tier of Y-Wing.
And the thing that killed me was them saying that they could hear Mills's keys jangling in the air as he fell. It was thrown from the 3rd tier down to the bottom.
George Jackson, Fleta Drumgo, and John Clouchet became the primary suspects in the killing of Officer Mills.
In the back seat, I got Benny Lee Lawson. On November 22nd, 1994, he responded and put it down in a respectable, honorable way to show that we can respond in the same ways that they act, and we can do the same things that they do.
Benny Lawson walked into D.C. Police Headquarters just after 3 p.m. with a purpose. Law enforcement sources say when Lawson got onto the 3rd floor and into the area of the cold case squad, he took off his hat, said something to the effect, "Anybody got a problem with this?"
Lawson pulled out his M11 assault handgun and started firing. The headquarters of the Washington, D.C. police was under attack.
And then in the back seat, I got Gavin Eugene Long. He went to Baton Rouge and he did the same. He responded and cleaned up for the abuse and what they do to the brothers. And these guys should be honored.
Chilling surveillance images show the gunman, Gavin Long, clad in a short black shirt. His face was covered. He was carrying an IWI Tavor SAR 5.56 caliber rifle. Long shot the first 2 officers next to a beauty supply store, and then he took aim at a 3rd officer as he rushed to the scene. As Long went around the back of a building, he shot a sheriff's deputy who left his cover to run to one of the wounded officers. Long then fired his gun twice at the wounded officer to make sure he was dead before moving toward a parking lot. There, Long shot 2 more law enforcement officials.
And I respect the people who was victimized, and I respect the murals and everything about the victims of police brutality, but we also gotta show respect and love for the people who respond to the brutality and not ignore them, not ignoring the sacrifices they put in to clean up and respond the way the system respect and the way the system honor. And it's a system that's set up that way, that they move a certain way, and if you don't respond in the same way, they're gonna continue to do it. And if you ignore the people who make the good responses, then you're doing a dishonor to the rest of society. So you gotta honor the people who respond the same way you honor the people who became the victims. And that's why I named this painting Stir It Up, because these guys stirred it up. And I've named it In Their Own Lane, because nobody's in the lane they are in. So they could float on an iceberg in an SUV in the ocean by themselves, because they're in their own lane. This painting is called Stir It Up.